first thing I would love to know from you is what was your motivation to create this project, and also what are the values behind this idea?
No, thank you so much, Arita. And maybe to answer this, I would, like a typical Ghanaian, ask a question, which is how many of us, I think most of us are probably business owners, are working in businesses. How many of us agree that as a business owner or as a business, finding a partner in Ghana or probably across West Africa or in Africa is one of the most painful and also time-consuming and a very not cost-effective thing you could ever do. How many of you agree? You can just raise your hand up. Exactly. So the reason why we came up with Kutana Africa was basically because of that. Because as I already stated when I was doing my introduction, we saw that one of the things that was really, really important was, as a business, if you want to actually grow and especially enter into different markets, you needed a partner. Most of the time as well, you needed a local partner to help you actually go into these markets, to understand what the market is all about. And sometimes as well, and I'm also really happy that Mubarak and Richard and also Dr. Standingon actually spoke, because the theme in their presentations or in their speeches brings to bear the fact that you needed someone to support you with something before you get what you want. And for us, this is why, and this is the value behind what we are trying to do. Kutana Africa is one platform that is supposed to solve the problem of you struggling to get a partner. But most importantly as well for us, it is that platform that we think could change the face of business in a way that businesses look at themselves as collaborators to themselves, not necessarily always looking at yourselves as competitors, especially when it comes to startups and trying to tackle a market that is over $1 billion, and then you want to be the only one going there. Sometimes you need a lot of people, even if they are doing the same thing you're doing. The market is too big and it's too large that you can't tackle it alone. So this is why we are doing this as Kutana Africa.
Amazing. But aside the startups, SMEs, what other categories of individuals will find value in this solution too?
Yeah. For people sitting here, there are some people who are probably you classify them as startups and also SMEs, but we also have another interesting category of people that we think is really important for this particular platform. Probably do some name dropping, like people sitting here like George, and I also have Lionel, I have Alex sitting there. These guys are not necessarily people who work with SMEs or startups, but we call them key partners because these are people who are also looking to support the ecosystem. Emmanuel was also here already, and they offer different kinds of services or different kinds of support services that actually helps an SME or a startup grow. And this is what we are also looking at. And so these guys are what we call key partners. I'll use George again as an example because he's looking into my face. But in general, George is from Societe Generale Bank. And for most businesses starting up, one of the things you need, even by law, is you need to have a bank account. Yeah, and having a bank account as well, sometimes it's just tedious just to get a simple bank account for you to operate as a company. But if we are able to partner with George, and we are partnering up with George to help other businesses that are going to jump on the platform to be able to create different kinds of bank accounts that are for their specific needs, because a startup bank account is quite different from a bigger company's bank account. So they are one of the kinds of people we are looking at when we say key partners. And they also get value because, again, it's business. They are getting people opening a bank account in their organizations as well. So this is also one way, one other category we have aside from SMEs and startups.
Okay, I got it. So how it was to transform this idea in a product? Can you share this process with us? Okay.
So this is the story, actually. It didn't just start a year ago or 2 years ago. It actually started 3 years ago, and I still have the paper that I literally just drew something on it. One day I would frame it and probably share someday. And it started off as, actually the name that I had earlier was Small Stock GH. And the whole idea, and it's probably is still the dream, which is to get to a level where businesses or startups can go IPO in Africa. That's the vision, that's the drive that we have as well as a company. But that's how it started. And so it started off as that, drew it in a sheet of paper, had conversations with a lot of people. But one thing I realized then was in that year, people didn't understand what I was talking about. And it was difficult for me to convince anyone to actually do this either with me or probably as well, maybe I wasn't also in that particular space yet and I wasn't ready yet. Yeah, but I mean, in hindsight, I would say I was patient, but I really wasn't patient. It was quite, frustrating to think that this thing is something that is going to work, but people are not necessarily, in tune yet. So after a year, that was when I spoke to a friend who was supposed to be here with me today. His name is Kwesi, but again, tech people don't like speaking, so he left everything for me to speak. Yeah, and we spoke about this, and then he was then working for another tech company, and we decided to just put things on paper for a while and then to think through it. It took us 6 months, and still nothing. Nothing had come out of it. So it was over a year before we actually started even doing a code for it in general. And then we started building up from that process. And so in all, I would say, just to conclude, it has taken us about 3 years to actually come to this level. And this level is not even the end. It's literally down the beginning for us as well, because just for every other person who has a tech product, it really takes you interacting with your users to be able to know exactly what the value is as well.
Okay, so I think we need to know now, how can we use it?
That's an amazing question. So for everyone who is here, on your seats, you have something like, I'm going to pick it up. Yeah, you have something like this. It's called Scan Me. Yeah. Yeah, it's not what you use for your business, virtual business card. This is different. This is Scan Me. And I hear by now, those using Androids would have downloaded something to help them scan. So it should work now. And I want everyone who hasn't gone onto the platform yet, because some of you here have already gone to the platform, you signed up, and that's why you are here. But for those who have not seen it before, just scan this. It will take you straight to the login. What you need to do is just quickly log in, and I'm going to take you through how it works as well. But before I do that, one thing I would say is that after you log in, it would ask you to verify your email. You verify your email, that's how it goes. And after verifying your email, it goes on for you to just fill a quick form, then you get to your dashboard. Now, there's one thing that was mentioned here, which is also important for us, which is, for every business that is signing up, we are going to be taking you through a verification process. And this is important because, again, if somebody wants to partner up with, or if you want to partner up with another business, one thing you are always looking out for is, this person trustworthy? Can you trust this particular business you want to go into partnership with? So this is what we want to do with this account verification. And this is why we advise every business that has signed up to go on to do the account verification, because this allows us to get some information from you that provides us the ability to say, we can vouch for you in general, and then we can start recommending you to other businesses. Now, once you've done all these processes, what would happen is, you will see on your dashboard, and this is something exciting as well we have that we always would like to mention. We are in partnership with Amazon Web Services for startups, and what they will be offering you, all those who are on the platform, is $5,000 worth of Amazon Web Services credit for 2 years, and also $1,500 of technical support for a year. Yeah, thank you. I would definitely also, not stop talking without mentioning again, you all entered and then you did this scan me to get your virtual business cards. Yeah, the team that did this is not necessarily part of a startup launch team, but it's also another team. George is sitting there looking at me. But again, this is also a team that we are going to be partnering up with really well, because I see, and we all see the value in having a virtual business card, especially in times of COVID of this sort as well. So again, for everyone who is going to be signing up onto this platform, you get to get access to this virtual business card beyond just here as well. And remind you, the virtual business card is not always for free. So if you've noticed, you can't necessarily fill every other thing there. So it means that it goes for a certain cost as well when you want to get a full level of virtual business card. This is also one way that we are also going to be using to support businesses. Aside that, lawyer Ola was sitting here, she is potentially part of the team as well. So again, and that's why I also like Mubarak's story a lot, because he stresses on the fact that before you even get to that fundraising process, there's a lot of things that you need to do, which is in terms of, again, legal services, which helps you structure your business to be ready for these kind of funding and these kind of conversations. Aside that as well, there are other businesses we are onboarding again from an investment consultancy perspective. People who can also help you put your books together before you move ahead to actually have that particular conversation. Because the money is good, but if you're not ready for it, what happens is you either are selling off too much of your company to somebody, or just locking yourself up into an agreement that you are going to regret for the rest of your life.
Okay. So I have one final question. It's how does the platform safeguard data within, and how to handle with data privacy and security concerns, something like that.
Yeah, this is where if Kwesi was here, I would have been really happy. but again, I mean, I'm also part of the development process, so I can also provide some answers to this as well. Data is really important for everyone who is collecting data, and even for the one who is also giving us data, it's really important for you to know how we secure your data and how we actually make sure that somebody else is not coming to take your data and use it for something else. Now, the reason why this is important to us is, aside from doing these kind of recommendations and connections, there's also another step to Kutana Africa, which is we are providing what we call a data room for every business that's going to be on. And the use case for this is, just imagine, and don't even imagine because you already go through it. Most of you, to find a partner, to either do your business or move your product to a certain level, you sometimes would need to talk to about 5 to 10 people. And that takes about 20 to 50 emails back and forth. You know, before you actually go through all these emails to get whichever partner you want to partner with. Sometimes you even forget your emails because it's just too much for you to handle. But what we are trying to do is to simplify this process. So with your data room, you are able to upload all these kind of information, whether it's your price list, your pitch deck, any other thing that would facilitate your partnership process. Now, for example, if you get a partner which expresses interest in you on the platform, it's easier for you to just give them access to your data room. Once you give them access, and the data room as well, we've made it in such a way that just like you have Google Drive where you can give somebody access to just one document, you know, this is how it's going to also work as well. So we give you some leveled access to people so that people don't come and take everything that you have, because you also need to protect your data. So you give this person access to your data room, and then they go to see whatever that is there according to the partnership that you want to strike. Once they are happy with it, you are able to also chat on the platform, which is, of course, something that you need to have anyways. So you are able to chat on the platform and then agree on this partnership. This should take you at most 2 days for you to do this, rather than taking you more about weeks and months for you to agree on one partnerships. You know, so this is one way. Now, how do we protect again the data in general? We've been, am I allowed to say this? Okay. Anyways, we've been able to build the platform in such a way that there are 3 layers to it. And probably I'll just give you this in terms of an architecture perspective, where the interface is hosted differently as opposed to the data we'll be collecting as well. So there are different kinds of data buckets that we have with Amazon Web Services that allows us to also protect your data. So just in case, am I speaking over some people's heads? No, okay. Okay, but just in case somebody probably comes onto the platform and wants to hack or anything of that sort, please don't try. What's going to happen is you get access to the first interface, which is more the user-facing. You don't get access to the data we've collected because they are hosted differently as well. And again, once you host on Amazon Web Services, they also provide their own add-on kind of security.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.